we first met probably...
How many years ago was it?
Probably 4 years ago. And I'd just gone back to the UK from Korea after doing my year abroad here, after my exchange year. So I started doing tutoring, English tutoring to Korean students. So it was like
Hounslow.
Hounslo's a little bit far, but there was one time, I think it was Costa Coffee.
Yeah.
The next table I noticed there's like a Korean person speaking English. And then I saw you basically doing what I was doing. And you were sort of speaking Korean to them, but mostly in English. But
because my Korean was so bad. Yeah.
But there was this thing of like, we must be the only two people in London who are doing this thing, probably ever.
Yeah.
And we were doing it at the same time.
So I was with a friend at the time, and I was just helping a friend with something. So your back was to us, I think, at that point. So we were like, oh, there's just Koreans over there. Because your Korean was so good.
I had like a hat on
my Korean friend thought it was a Korean person. And then she's like, wait a minute. He's foreign. And I was like, what? And then I was like, wow.
And I turned around and went, how do you know?
That was, yeah.
That was the first time we met.
That was the first time, yeah.
Well, no, we didn't meet then though,
that was the first time I think we crossed paths.
Yes, yeah.
I had a Korean friend at uni, but at the time I didn't know anything about Korea. You know, when you have a group of friends and some of them are from various parts of the world, you never really talk about where someone's actually from. So when we graduated, I started working full-time and I wanted to go traveling. Most people go to Thailand and I didn't want to go to Thailand because I was like, everyone's been there. And then my Korean friend was like, why don't you come to Korea? Because I'm in Korea. And I was like, where's Korea? I think one of the biggest kind of selling points at that point was, if I go to Korea, that means I can go to Japan as well. And I've heard about Japan. When I got there, that's when it kind of all changed for me. It's the first East Asian country that I've ever been to. And it's so different.
안녕하세요. 오, 좀 크게 나오네요.
네, 이게 통밀이고 이게 오트밀이에요.
근데 왜 이렇게 친구 거 더 크게 해주시죠?
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Oh, wow, this looks amazing.
Mate, dive in. Let's sluice it.
Yeah, let's do this.
Oh my goodness me.
Wow. I've never had pancakes in Korea.
Have you not?
It's my first time, yeah.
Do you like pancakes?
Yeah, I love pancakes.
That's great. Do you have a sweet tooth?
Yes.
I do.
A massive sweet tooth. That's why, like, I can't have Americanos. They're too bitter. Yeah, so I have to have something sweet all the time. It's mental.
Wow.
Nice.
What's the berry stuff on there? Is it very nice? Or just quite nice?
Very nice.
It is.
I can have this anytime of the day. Do you know the first time you ever came to Korea? Did you not find it so different to London? Like completely different. It's just like chaos here. And that's what I love about it. The city's alive, like every hour of the day. The people are so kind. Well, seeing Korea through your own eyes, that's a really nice experience. Like just being here individually and just traveling around. But if you see it with a Korean person that shows you what they see, that's really interesting. I was supposed to be here for 3 weeks. I ended up being here. I cancelled my Japan trip, kind of. I stayed here it was almost 6 weeks in Korea. And I went back to Japan for 2 days. And then I went to London from Japan. And when I went to Japan, although it was my first time, I didn't like it.
This time you come to learn Korean?
Yeah.
And how's it been? How long have you been here? What's your life like being so far in Korea?
So I came to Korea last year, March. So it's been about a year and a half, coming up to 2 years, and it's been amazing. I just quit my job to just do what I want to do. And it was one of those things that I really wanted to do. After my trip in Korea and really enjoying it, I went back to London and I kind of decided that I was to make some Korean friends. I wanted to learn Korean, like properly. That was one of my goals. So whilst working on my days off and things like that, I would meet up with my Korean friends and try and study.
I always ask like people who have a really positive outlook on Korea like you do and are really enjoying life here, what they like eating in Korea. And then you told me that you're a vegetarian.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a bit about like what life is like as a vegetarian in Korea.
So I've been a vegetarian since I was 5-6 years old. I had a kind of sort of a traumatic experience when I was little. The biggest thing is like you said, I don't want to just come to Korea and I want to have like Western food. That's not what it's about. I want to have Korean food and I want to have vegetarian Korean food. And so I have kimchi fried rice. I can have sundubu-jjigae if they take out the seafood. Everything's taking something out. Also, bibimbap. You know, one of the funniest experiences I had when I first came to Korea, and I ordered a bibimbap, and I told them I'm vegetarian, and she understood. So she brought out the bibimbap and she put it down in front of me, and then she sprinkles this meat over it, and I was like, "What is that?" She goes, "Oh, that's just nothing." And I was like, "What is exactly?" She's like,
nothing.
And she told me, she was like, "Oh, it's just sogi," I think she said. And I was like, "But it is meat." She goes, "But it's this little." And I was like, "But I still can't have it." And then she's like, "Nothing?" And I was like, "Yes." But it's been nice, yeah.
So we actually had a really interesting experience recently when we were down near Donggyu-ro at that sort of like local harvest Thanksgiving type festival, and we did some cooking, right?
This texture is, it's a bit weird, right? Oh. I wonder how long we fry them for. Get them a bit well done. I'll flatten them with this.
Great show, yeah. Otherwise they've got my finger.
오, 잘하시네.
And so we cooked the gukwajeon, and then we made the little dog sort of balls to put into the ubakjuk, the pumpkin porridge thing.
Yeah. I've never actually seen how they make dok. How is it so chewy? What is it made of? Thanks to that cooking experience, I kind of had an insight to what it was. I have a sweet tooth, so it was nice to be able to make something that was actually quite sweet, and I actually like dok, so it was good. And doing it with the kids as well, it really brought a different sort of feel to it.
One of the most fulfilling parts of that experience was like at the end when we were putting the persimmon on because we
got it from
the tree, and the kids were like interested in like how gukwajeon tastes when it's made by British people, even though it's made in exactly the same way.
Yeah.
And I said as a joke to the kid, 영국 사람의 손맛 나지? And she was like, no, like sure.
Really?
Because there's this assumption that because it was made by British people, it was like a British
version,
like a British version, which it was because of the person.
Because of the village was beautiful. Yeah. It was just amazing. Like I really want to go back there. Just all those activities that we did, even with the kids, like the games. Wow. Yeah. It's like, where is it that you would actually interact with so many kids, cook, play games and stuff? It's just, that experience was just unreal.
It's funny because we went, so that was in Gyeongsang-buk-do, like North Gyeongsang province near Daegu. And then we also recently went to, I think it's Chungcheon-namdo or it's Jeollabuk-do, I'm not sure. It's more southwest. We went to near Nonsan.
Yeah.
But we went to a village near there. I'm not sure if you can call it a village, but it's the Donam-toan.
Yeah. Wow.
It's absolutely massive, isn't it?
I think this is the main classroom.
Wow.
Where they used to teach the kids.
It's actually quite stunning, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
I found it really interesting there, but I noticed that you've got quite an interest in like Korean history and like kind of Korean films that show, that depict like, old Korean culture and academic culture and this kind of scholarly culture.
Yeah. I never thought I'd be like a person that's really interested in history, because I was not interested in history
finance,
at all.
Right?
Yeah, I studied finance, and like I used to struggle in history at school. But like in Korean history, I don't know what it is. Like it really gets to me. And I love learning about the fact that there was like a monarchy and, and it's not here now, and this happened and that happened, that kind of stuff. So going there and seeing all these buildings, for example, the main building was over 600 years old or something, right? The library had no windows and it was all like closed up. It's so much more than just a museum. It's like actually kind of stepping into the history and actually experiencing it. We made the little postcards, and I'm not very talented, shall I say, like with my hands. Being able to do that was really, really nice.
You feel like just creating something, even if it's something so simple, even though there's these like 14-year-old guys who can do it like a lot quicker and maybe better than us,
Yeah.
It still feels like I've made something I can give it to someone.
Yeah, and like the focus that you put into it as well, you're like, oh, it needs to be perfect, sort of thing.
funny because we drink a lot of tea. I actually drink loads of coffee, but
Yeah.
drink a lot of tea. When I saw the tea there, that was one of the reasons I wanted to go and try it because the whole setup looked a bit different. It's like marigold flower tea.
Yeah. The display was unreal, like loads of different colours of like types of tea, and yeah, they had like pink tea. I've never seen pink tea, but trying the tea actually it was really nice. I'm not a massive tea person. I'm more of a kind of coffee person, but the tea was actually quite nice, and having the tea with the stock that they had there, that was really nice. That stock was quite special.
After we had that tea, I felt like it was a really kind of soothing experience. It was really interesting because like we saw this booth where people were doing like these 3D puzzles, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Like 3D kind of sounds like modern, and you know, but the puzzles were of the school, and it's just amazing. Like thing at school. There's another example of where like Korea will be like, well, this is a historical thing, but it doesn't mean that we can't like recreate it or come up with it as a toy, or like something that we can kind of, I don't know, just interact with more or something, you know? And again, it's that thing of, it's not just a museum. Because I always find it's interesting to look at historical things, but if you can experience them, it makes it so much more fulfilling, I think.
Till this day, I'm just like, but there was people that were actually living here and they were actually experiencing life. And I really I'm really curious about how they lived, and you know, because it's so different to how we live now.
Well, it makes me think, like like you said, we can't experience that as they did.
Yeah.
Because we only experience it in the context of, we live in Seoul, we have phones, we have, you know, technology, we have this kind of food, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But one thing about just going back and doing those kind of experiences that we did is that while I'm doing that experience, I'm not thinking about my phone. I'm not thinking about emails. I'm not thinking about new trainers.
Yeah.
And especially if you can immerse yourself in that particular experience, suddenly the things that I like, especially materially, seem really important to me, aren't the important things. So like even like this is amazing privilege to eat these pancakes in Korea in this environment. But this isn't what like makes the experience. Right? It's having this good conversation, for example.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can make things really sleek and efficient, but we can also make them more complicated.
Yes.
What do you want to do in Korea? Like, where do you want to go in Korea? And like, what are your hopes like for your life, like in the future in Korea, especially in the context of like, you know, a cultural exploration?
I think I'm still figuring it out myself, to be honest. I think I'm at this point in my life where I've kind of seen people around me do things that they're not exactly happy with. I came to Korea on my own free will to learn more about this beautiful country and to learn more about the culture and learn the language. I don't know where it will take me. It might take me, take me somewhere else, or I'd love to be able to promote this sort of stuff to people outside, because I feel like a lot of people that do come to Korea, they overlook a lot of this sort of stuff. I think this is the most important part of it. This is why Korea is Korea. Yeah.